Hello and welcome to the LCS report. 11 days until the LCS, which means we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. There's the LCS address. There's the draw show that just happened literally today, like 5 hours ago. There's our power rankings that we need to get out. Don't look at the thumbnail, please. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Just quick announcements. Join the Discord, please. We're doing morning tea every single day, 5 days a week now instead of 4. We bring questions for the community to talk about and discuss. It's just a fun little activity to get the LCS community all involved. So join there, and we will be looking into live viewing games. Week 1, unfortunately, we won't be able to. Going into week 2, hopefully we can find. We're trying to do one game a week. Just start there and go from there. But yes, we won't be live viewing this week, but in the future we might have announcements for live viewings and stuff like that. And we're always looking to add cool stuff. But yeah, let's get right into it. I'm gonna start with you, Marn. What did you think of the draw show?
Could have been better for us, not gonna lie. Could have been a lot better, if we're being honest. Like, I would have taken anyone else in the field, but I really didn't want to draw Team Liquid straight off the bat. The only good thing is we can't face them again, like with the Swiss format, and I must have read it wrong. Apparently, it's only just you play 3 games and that's it. It's not like with Worlds where you have to win 3 to qualify. Maybe I was reading that wrong. Like I don't. Maybe
No,
it's
no,
just
you have to make 3.
Okay. Because when I was watching David's video earlier, I think that was like his, or maybe I was misinterpreting him as well. But yeah, could have been better as a C9 fan. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it is a nice litmus test for C9 versus Team Liquid. I'm sure they scrimmed a lot. Just behind the scenes, Team Liquid seems to be the best team, and C9 is like the second best team. It seems, from what I've been hearing from pros, that Lion is like the third best team, but they also have Inspired, which means they're going to win a lot of scrims.
I've heard differently in terms of like the top 2. I think it's like very interchangeable depending on who you ask.
I mean, oh, record decides, because I know there's a tiebreaker. Okay, maybe I don't completely understand the Swiss format. I will go back and watch the video again, Beanpork, or read the article. But either way, I don't think you guys can play Team Liquid again. As a Shopify fan, I was pretty happy with the draw. We got FlyQuest. I think it would have been nicer if Team Liquid and C9 didn't play each other. That way we could play one or the other the next. Like, we would have a much higher chance if we won to play Team Liquid or Cloud9, but now we cannot play like both. We won't have an opportunity to play both of them. If we win, we'll only be able to play the winner. If we lose, we'll only be able to play the loser, which I think takes away a little bit from. I would like to see tough matchups initially.
Yeah.
The other big thing with the draw is it's very hard for me to even judge what's going to happen because there are so many players who do not have their visas. It seems like this year, normally I would say, okay, if some teams have their Korean players but other teams don't, did the teams not know, or incompetence? Like, what's going on? Did they hire a bad attorney? Like, I ask these questions, but it seems like every team is having problems. The Shopify posted a video with 4 of their players. Zinni wasn't there, so I'm assuming he's still not there. I don't know if he's going to be there in time, but he clearly wasn't there. We heard Berserker's not going to be there. Lion had to hire a new top laner. Call Me wasn't there. My Call Me interview got canceled because he just didn't make it into the States. I don't think Lions is there as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's a problem.
This is the worst it's been. I feel like maybe I'm not remembering how 2020 and 2021 lock-in was, but it feels like every team bar, like C9 Sentinels and oh wait, no.
Sentinels?
Yeah, no, okay, maybe not. Just C9 TL then.
It's just C9 because they're the only ones that didn't get a new Korean player.
Yeah, wait, is Morgan also not here?
I don't know. I haven't seen any interviews with him, but that doesn't mean he's not there.
Right.
So this could not be a problem. This, like, literally on the 22nd, all the visas could be approved and everybody just comes rushing into the United States. On the 23rd, they get like 8 hours of sleep and they start playing. That could happen. But Is that likely? I don't know. I don't know. I think the more Koreans you have, the less likely you are to play well in week one because you'll have more Koreans that are out. Obviously, there are Koreans like Impact and Core GJ that aren't going to be affected by this. But I'm talking about ones that are going to be affected, like a Rahel, like a Zinni, like Call Me, like who's the jungler for Sentinels?
Um,
Uh, I'm
Humbug, isn't
blanking
it?
on his name right now. Humbug, yeah, like Humbug. So it's going to be very strange. Now, if we just ignore all of that and assume everybody has their draws, their players, because it's really difficult because we don't know who's subbing or if they're going to be there or not. Just assuming everything is normal and functioning as intended, I do think I favor Cloud9 a little bit more on the stage games because I don't know. Team Liquid have always been so good in scrims, man. They've always just been good in scrims. So
So wait, like,
whenever people say Team Liquid are good in scrims, I just don't take it seriously.
I mean, they're even pretty good last year, like, and we know how that went.
Not in summer. In summer, they couldn't win a scrim. Like they couldn't win a
Yeah,
single thing.
but majority of the time they are pretty good. And to be fair, it's so we, and that's why I never take it as like I don't always say, well, this team's the favourite. Like, yeah, I prefer just seeing the stage games because that's like really what it has. In like a game like COD, where I think there's less transition from like stage to online because it's straight online to online, even if they're technically stage games. Um, yeah, I just take the stage games far more seriously.
Yeah. So I just remember the last point that I wanted to make about the visa issues. If you're a team that has a visa issue, basically every single team except for Cloud9, assumingly, allegedly, I don't know this is for a fact. I'm just assuming here because they all have Korean players. If you're a team like that, like Dignitas, like you would much rather play Team Liquid, like the top teams right now when you don't have your roster, and then when you have your roster, you have easier opponents rather than losing your easy games and then having to play hard games and losing them as well. So there is a little bit of that. Maybe for teams it kind of sucks that Cloud9 and Team Liquid are playing each other, but I think it's a very good start to the LCS or return to the LCS, having those two face off. I think those are most people have them as 1 and 2. I don't think there's a world in where that's our final. I have a feeling one of them is gonna bomb out, and I mean my fingers on Team Liquid, so maybe I'm wrong, but I mean if that's the final, I'll take it. We also get 3 teams that get to go. We'll get that in the address. Actually, let me not get ahead of myself. What do you think of the other matchups? Because obviously that matchup is a highlight matchup.
I think that DSG Lion game is going to be fucking wild with how many changes. It's just going to be some like. It's actually going to be like we're going to experience. Remember when like the walkout happened, and then we're going to get like players from off the street come in. Like that's what it's going to feel like because there's so many players that aren't here. So not every team's going to be able to pick up a decent player. Um, it's pretty funny how this is all about. Like if I'm inspired, I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is this? Because let's just say like C9 for me now is I'm putting them way in the drive and say like you need to take advantage of like the situation that you've been given. You need to get ahead because teams are going to play catch up, and if teams like Lion, for example, who aren't going to get their plays, maybe even the entirety of like lock-in, like they're going to be playing so far behind, and like even like Shopify, like they're going to be playing a specific style with Zinni. Well, that's not going to help if Zinni's not here, and like you're going to delay him being able to play and practice because even though they practiced in Korea and I heard they did decently, that's all going to go away once like the season starts, and you're going to have to pick that back up because it's going to be like a month since you last played with him. So anything you learned's kind of going to be washed away a little bit. So I'm interested. So like, and with Sen as well because jungle's such a pivotal role, and like we don't know how Humbuck is going to be with the team. So yeah,
Yeah. Also,
it's a bit of a rough one.
I was talking to XU and he made a point. I was telling him like I've been watching your stream and you've been playing a lot of Kiana. I've been watching a lot of Jarvan. People have been playing Jarvan. We've seen in Demacia Cup like Malphite coming out. It's just such a open meta. And he said, yeah, I'm really excited to start scrimming because that's when you start seeing with everything is viable in jungle.
Yeah.
But once you start scrimming, that's when you figure out what's the meta, not just what's
Mm.
viable. And if you're a player like Humbach who ends up coming late, Jose Diodo, I don't know if he's going to make it on time or not. I don't know if he's there, but just hypothetically speaking, uh, if he's not, if someone like what other junglers are Korean that might not make it? I think it's only DSG, not DSG, sorry, Sentinels, right, with Humbug, and
Yeah.
then everyone else kind of has, besides maybe Jose. Like if you're Humbug and you're coming in late, and all of a sudden you're behind the meta, you weren't practicing these champion. I can see that definitely affecting, like you're saying. Maybe he's there. Maybe this is all just maybe there's only 2 or 3 players, but my understanding is there's a wave of LCS players that cannot make it to the LCS yet.
And this is the only problem
Um,
I'm having specifically with lock-in qualifying you for an international event. I know First Stand isn't like MSI or Worlds, right? But it's still it's gone up to 8 teams. It's still like a decently sized tournament. Yes, it's in a studio in Sao Paulo, so not the best, but it's disappointing how, let's just say, for example, Lion, like, Inspired wants to go to every event, right? And it is very, very unlikely that he's going to um, make it to First Stand. Maybe they can edge out like a second or third and get to the tournament we're going to speak about later on, but I think it's just
and maybe this
frustrating that
pushes teams to have subs, to have North American players. I don't know. Maybe it's a legitimate thing.
I think it definitely opens the conversation for teams need to at least have affiliated NACL teams that they can just pick from immediately. Like if they're like in the negotiation, so well, look, if something happens, we need to pull your player for one of our matches. That definitely needs to be a conversation to have.
Maybe maybe visa issues will end up helping tier 2. Who knows? But yeah, let's just get on with the LCS address. Can I just say, oh my god, this was the best LCS address we have ever gotten. Like barring none. I went back, I tried to find all the LCS address. We don't usually get them very often. We'll get it like a video and stuff like that, but in terms of addresses, this was the best. We got a lot of what you and I and David, like when we had that the LCS crossover between our 2 podcasts, some of the stuff we talked about, I think everything that was realistic happened. Where okay, we can play more games in the closet, but we'll get more games roadshows. We got that. Like
Yeah.
straight up, that's exactly what we got. We didn't go fully online, but we got the closest thing we could to that. We wanted more games. We got way more games. And split 1, split 2, and 3 formats are so much better. We got better formats as well. And then we didn't even ask for this, and we got an international tournament or a semi-international tournament, which I think is like incredible. We actually talked about it a little bit of like, I wonder if you could do something like that. And then I think David was like, or I said, it's impossible because the ping is too high. So you couldn't do it online. So then you have to spend money on it, and they
Yeah.
probably don't have that budget. Guess what? They got the budget because everyone's going to be there anyways. So great job. Like honestly, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. The one thing we did not get was dates. I mean, come on, please just give us dates and places. I want to put time off so I can attend the road shows. I don't even know where they're going to be. I don't know if I can fly there, if I can drive there, if I can take them out. I don't know if I have to book a hotel or if I have a family member that I can call in advance and be like, can I sleep on your couch? Like, I need to be able to plan this stuff.
And the problem is, like, the
That's
closer it
frustrating.
gets to these events, the higher the price comes. Like, if we do it now,
That's
like
yeah.
you're gonna get like a 50% discount because you're doing it so early in advance. And like, imagine like me, I want to come to an event. How the hell can I plan for it? Like, I can't. It's realistically like that I can't come to these events because I can't plan them that far in advance because they only announce it like freaking weeks before the event.
Yeah, that is quite annoying, but I have hope. David has been throwing this possibility. I don't know if he has a little bit of inside information. He's just like kind of throwing it out there as conjecture or what, but it seems his theory is that teams are the ones that are going to be announcing the homestands because they're going to be taking the responsibility for it. I don't think that's the case, but maybe that's the case. So they have to make the announcement. So then make it like once the LCS address comes out, 2 hours later, you put that announcement. An hour, 30 minutes later, I don't know. Like you do that. I have a feeling they're waiting until LCS starts, the 24th. I'm really hoping we get those dates on the 24th. It's just it. it really is frustrating not knowing. Like, I know I can plan for the CBLOL tournament that we're having with them. I can plan for First Stand. I can plan for MSI. I can plan for Worlds, but I can't plan for a spring split roadshow. Like, man, come on.
And obviously, they have to do it somewhat in advance to have to even like, put the announcement out that they're going to have Roadshows. Maybe on the odd chance, Riot doesn't even know themselves, and that's why they're not making any
They know.
further.
They know. They know.
Yeah,
They know.
like
They know.
exactly. I'm just saying that for like, obviously you can't speak on stuff, but it's. I think it's frustrating that they kind of like dangled it in front of fans, didn't they? Like they dangled it that roadshows are coming back, but we're going to tell you absolutely nothing more outside of one key information that it's going to be outside of Los Angeles.
Okay, I will. I have a theory, and then I'll stop. Like, look, there was so much positive that I do want to get back to the positives, but
Yeah.
I have to talk about this because it is a little bit frustrating. It seems to me that until everything, including a video and just everything is available and tickets are available and everything, they don't say when it is. It also seems to me that they try to save information so that when they come out with another address of, hey, this is where it's happening, they have information to share. So it seems to be strategic in some sense. It's not, oh, we have like what a quota, like we can only tell people 3 weeks in advance. I don't think that's the case. I think there is some logic behind it. I just find that logic very frustrating and not practical for people who
Yeah.
have jobs. But yeah, besides that, the address was phenomenal. We got everything we wanted that was realistic. I'm gonna keep pushing about realistic because we wanted 10 teams. I didn't think that was realistic. We wanted a lot more things, but those weren't very realistic for right now. Maybe in the future it'll be. So it's steps, it's baby steps. And I think the steps were great.
I'm just pulling up something quickly. Is it? There's two teams for MSI, right?
Yes, one team for first stand, two teams for MSI, three teams for Worlds.
Okay, that's cool. It's going to be really cool to see that the America's Cup is something I'm particularly hyped about because even if it's not for this year, like I am fully hyped. It's what they can do in future years because I'd love to incorporate more teams. At the moment, four's fine, get its little baby steps in, but I then want to see it
It's a
incorporate
pilot.
like incorporate NACL like two NACL teams. I don't know when if the schedules would align, but I'd love to see like
They don't even play until March.
right have
You can't do that. Yeah.
well you can have like a qualifier tournament for an NACL teams like if teams are available or like whatever teams or do like an open qualifier of some sort like top two like teams from the NA Open qualifier and do that for Brazil as well can then compete. Have more teams because I said it I think in our chat that I'd love this to be more like an FA Cup where if you literally have if you're like a semi-professional you can play in the FA Cup. It's as close to playing ranked into you can play straight from ranked to qualifying to an international tournament for league. Kind of like what you can do in Valorant for me. Like you can grind your way up and then you can qualify for VCT straight out from it. Like, do you see how like, that's what I want to incorporate in the future is have like an open bracket style where you can get something, obviously, and they'll get probably absolutely smashed by these teams, but I think it's still a cool thing. I think it's interesting the deduction of like the prize pools, and then you're seeing subsequently where that prize pool is going. It's you're paying for these expenses. Like we was just talking about like last month, is like 50K on average for a team to go to an international event. Well, that's something to play. Like, that is legitimately something to play for. Like the owners will be saying to these guys, like, look, I don't want to be spending 50K for us to go boot camp in it, like for MSI if you don't make it. So you better like work for it so we can earn that for free.
Yeah, and it also like if you think about it, it rewards not just the first place team because for first stand for lock-in, the team that gets to go to first stand is the winner. But then it gives a motivation for you to finish second or third. All of a sudden, placements aren't meaningless. It's not just one winner. There's a winner and then two semi-winners. And then if you win, you also make NA proud because you give them a fourth seed for a boot camp. So then we get two extra. We get like an extra spot for a boot camp. Where if we lose that tournament, we only have 3 teams. The 2 teams playing and one extra team that Riot will pay. So Riot will pay an extra team if we to whichever region wins. So it's just overall, I like how they are shifting the budget. I'm very happy. It is very clear to me that they are listening in terms of the things that they targeted were things that the fans actively mentioned. And when I talked to Mark,
Hmm.
see, that was something he brought up. He was like, we tried to just listen for a while. And I asked him, hey, why haven't you been doing your addresses? Like last year in 2024, you were doing your lives every couple weeks. You're doing a lot more. And he said, we just had to take a step back and just listen to the feedback. There was
Yeah.
so much feedback that it was a little overwhelming. We just had to sit back and kind of dive through and see what we could address because there were limitations. And I think they're still listening. This is the first time I've actually felt like in 2025 was the first time I felt Riot is listening. When the Hextech thing happened with the chests, they took them away. They brought them back. They gave us more. It was very clear this was the first step in Riot listening. And then they did it again. And then they did it again. And now the LCS is doing it. They brought back the LCS. They're giving us more Roadshow. It is very clear that Riot fundamentally has changed not just the LCS, not just Riot North America, but Riot Games as a whole has fundamentally decided maybe giving people what they want and not assuming we know what they want is better.
I will
Seems to be
say
working for now.
it better not be these roadshows are just in Allen, Texas. I will say that that's my like only worry. I don't want them all to be because it seems like Riot is maybe getting a little bit of a little bit of a Texas fetish going on with having like, but I hope it's like across because there's been a lot of like states that have been complaining that they want an event for so long and have never got it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for honestly, as long as it's in the East Coast. Even if you go to the Midwest again, I can probably make it. If you stick to like Seattle or Vegas or something like that, I probably won't go. Maybe Vegas because you can get some cheap hotels as long as you don't gamble. Uh, but yeah, if you stick within the like the the right side of north of the continent, I can probably make it personally. Yeah, I feel like, and that's like the majority of North Americans, right? We most Americans live on the north in the Northeast. Denver, I would do Denver. Chicago would be quite nice. Boston would be pretty nice. Maybe Alan Texas' biggest fan or has blackmail material. Maybe I know that Riot really likes Texas. The Houston event, the Dallas event, it's just Texas energy is so invigorating that even the rioters, when they go there and they feel the energy, they're just so happy to be there. So maybe we should do a poll actually at some point, or maybe it could be like a morning tea of asking where do you want LCS to go for spring? I'm assuming they're gonna do one in spring, one in summer. Maybe it's more than one. Maybe it's two in spring. Who knows? But if we did have one in spring, where should it go? I don't want it to be somewhere too hot though, but we'll figure it out. Yeah. So I think overall the address, not much more you could have given us besides dates and locations. Anything else you want to add before we go on to the meat of this episode?
Uh, was there anything that you thought was going to be in there, like pre? Because like just for context, press get like the embargo thing, so we've known about this for a little while, so we can't speak about it. Was there anything pre the embargo that you wanted to be in there that hasn't been in there, or is everything like you
I
kind
think
of
there were two things I kind of wanted. One, I wanted watch parties
yeah?
because I knew that they were working on it. So I was hoping we would get something about that. That was one thing that I wanted. The second thing I wanted was more whoa, what was I thinking? Uh I lost my train of thoughts. Was there something that you wanted while I try to remember what I was thinking?
While I like While I never expected this to be in like a like the address, I wanted them to be a bit more like transparent on how they're marketing things because I felt
Oh,
like
that's right. I wanted a date. Sorry, before I forget, I wanted a date for the next address. That's what I was hoping for. It's like
yeah,
we'll touch back at the end of a lock in or something like that.
right, because I think one thing Leo does like incredibly well in Valorant is how transparent he is, like their wins and losses, and I still feel like LCS is still like teetering the edge of like admitting their flaws versus like celebrating their wins. Um, so yeah, maybe a bit more transparency on Roadshows, like what is their number? Like if they, let's just say they didn't fully know their thing, but at least be open, right? We're having 2 Roadshows plus your finals, because at least for me, I didn't want to just see the return of what you had like pre 2023, where you just had a
That's
spring
not
and
it.
summer.
He would have said it. He would have said it.
Y-
That's not it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like 100% sure.
yeah, and like the way like they addressed it in the thing, like I want to see more, so just curious to see what they do with it.
Yeah, no. Before we go into power rankings, shall we do predictions for the games that are happening? Because we kind
Yes,
of
yes, I can
skipped
bring
that,
that.
so we should probably do that.
Yes.
I mean, first of all, C9 versus Team Liquid. If you just want to predict, but this can be pretty
Uh,
quick because we're gonna get into power rankings anyways.
I genuinely think we're gonna 2-0 them.
Ooh, 2-0. I think it's gonna be C9 as well, but I think it'll be 2-1. If Morgan is there, maybe 2-1. If Morgan is not there, then I'm with you, 2-0.
Mm.
Let's go Lion versus Dignitas.
I have no fucking idea.
I know, isn't that awesome? It's like we don't even know if Ignar's gonna be there. We don't even know if Berserker is gonna be there. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Is
Saint's gonna Saint
is there anyone missing from Dig?
uh maybe Photon and Ignar. Maybe Photon is there. Maybe he's not. Ignar, I'm suspicious about. Photon, I'm clueless about.
I'm gonna go Sentinels 2-0.
It's Lion versus Dignitas.
Oh, Lion versus. Really? I got Lion versus Dig. Wait, I may be using the old graphic that I got the teams with Lion versus Dig. Sorry.
Yeah, Lion versus Dig.
Lion.
Lion?
Lion 2-0.
I actually think it's going to be Lion 2-1. I think Dignitas, just by the fact that they have their team, or at least they have more. They have FBI versus a sub 80 carry. Last time Lion had to bring in a sub, they brought in a tier 3 streamer, and that was horrible, like horrific. So I don't know who they're getting as a sub for 80 carry. Are they gonna, if they bring in a tactical, sure, that's like very different. But if they bring in someone who cannot CS, who cannot farm, who cannot team fight, who cannot lane, who cannot exist in like the highest caliber of North American League of Legends, not saying he's a bad player, just like for the caliber, then I can see Dignitas having a lot more of a chance.
I could see like a tactical or a scary Jerry coming onto that team just for that weekend.
Yeah, but you're going up against FBI, and this guy's good. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't get his flowers until Worlds comes around, and then everyone's like, "Oh my god, FBI made it to Worlds again!" But yeah, this guy's dangerous. So I can see it being closer than we expect based on how many players are actually there. Sentinels versus DSG.
I don't know. Probably send 2-1.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Sentinels are going to be missing their jungler and their AD carry, and I'm assuming that Disguise are going to be missing their mid laner and their support. So, having said all of that, oh, it's kind of hard. I kind of have to. I'm gonna give it to DSG as well. Not as well. Like I'm gonna give it to DSG because I think the jungle pool is going to be very like you're gonna have to find a sub jungler, and you're playing with Impact and Huhi. I don't think it's the easiest role to fill in. Like if you think of like your hyper carries, right? Impact isn't exactly a hyper carry, although maybe he could. It depends on his form. I feel like it's easier to fill in mid lane than it is to fill in AD carry or jungler. And they're missing like hard. It could go either way. I'm gonna give it to Disguised 2-1.
Yeah,
just because
they're missing Call Me, right, as well. Or is he in now?
They're missing so DSG is missing Call Me, yes. They're missing their mid laner, but there are so many mid laners that could take his place. Whereas I feel like it's harder to find a really good, like the difference between Call Me who didn't have a great LCK career, and Rahel. I think Rahel going down to like a Scary Jerry is much
Yeah.
bigger. Did I write that wrong? Is Sentinels playing Dignitas? Am I crazy?
1 second, my camera's just died.
I'm just gonna look at the. No, Sentinels is playing DSG. You're trolling me. I'm looking at the LCS graphic.
Yeah, it's my I had a new graphic because I realized I put Sentinels in line in the wrong place.
Oh, okay. Your graphing. I see. So yeah, I think it's harder to find a replacement for Rahel than Call Me. And it's not fair because Call Me hasn't played. Maybe he comes out and he's like quad and he's completely smurfing. I don't think he will. I'm not very high on Call Me. That's probably why.
Yeah.
I mean, last one, Shopify versus FlyQuest. I am a Shopify fan. I'm gonna give it to Shopify 2-0.
2-1. Just because
even if we don't have Zinni, like
I just think Fudge didn't seem too confident in that LCS draw video. He didn't like seem too high on you guys at the moment, and obviously you're lacking Zinni, so maybe it depends who you bring in. Fucking maybe Demonte just plays. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's gonna play for us if Zinni doesn't make it. But if you think
honestly,
about it,
I think it would actually it wouldn't be a bad idea to have Demonte, considering like he still can probably play at an okay level, and he's been with the team already for a while, so he probably like, and he's a former mid, so like it's not bad.
Losing Pookie Fox. It's over for Shopify.
I can't see chat anymore, by the way, so chat will be on you.
All right, chat. If you want to make fun of Marn, today's your day. I also think that Masu did not seem very confident in either. But after talking to Empire about this FlyQuest roster, they want to develop their support and jungle into leaders. They don't have a leader right now. It's very hard. I mean, Griffin's gonna be the leader, but he's not gonna be a great leader. I think it's very hard to develop something like that, and we already have someone like that in contracts. So I'm not too worried about FlyQuest. I think FlyQuest is not gonna have visa issues, right? Because Gecko's already in, and everyone else is. I think Quad's already there, so they're not gonna have visa issues. We might, but I still think we'll take care of business.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, Powerankings, my favorite time of the
day. So you'll have to do it off of stream, so we'll just have to talk, and then once we finalize something, I'll put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll move on to Powerankings.
Let me move you out of the way then, so I won't be able to see you for a bit, but that's fine. Ooh.
And just to caveat people, this is just for lock-in, which is made like this decision is 10 times harder considering we just found out 1 billion players are not playing.
Yeah, so this is just for lock-in. We're not talking about anything else. It is going to be we're gonna have a different power ranking. It's lock-in with the asterisks that we're assuming we might be assuming or not assuming the players aren't gonna be there. So that's the reason we only did it for lock-in, because it's very difficult to kind of figure it out. Shopify win the split. Sorry to tell you. Hell yeah, River.
Who said that?
River in Dreams. I don't know who it is, but he's clearly a smart person. And River in Dreams, to be honest, Lion might win out. No, you were right with the first time with Shopify. Let's stick with that. C9 on top. Sorry, Reggie. Should we talk about Zemudo? I kind of forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, we can do it with that before we
in the visa issue. Yeah, so Zemudo, if you were living under a rock, he is not going to be able to play for Lion again because his visa got rejected. It's not delayed. It's not one of those situations with Berserker or Zinni where we just have to play the waiting game. So if you don't know how the visa process works, you apply, you put in all the, there's a back and forth that kind of goes, and then there's a waiting period until they approve it or reject it. Normally, if it gets pre-conditioned approval, anyways, it's complicated. With Zemudo, though, specifically, He went through that entire process and got told no. Basically, they don't think he's an athlete. And then when you look at it, he not only did he get a scholarship for his to play in the US, he was able to get into the US to study, scholarship for that same sport that he's playing, won the championship, won CLOL, like has so many accomplishments. Clearly he's qualified to be an athlete, but they feel like he's not good, or like I don't know why exactly they're doing it. So they rejected him. Maybe you can appeal, maybe you can't. I don't exactly know what the process is like for him, but it is a very, very sad, especially since like Canada's our neighbor. It's a closest neighbor. Yeah, we share a huge border with them. This is kind of uh it's kind of worrying because if they can say no to a Canadian player who's a resident in North America, right, not in the US, who goes to school there, competes in college, then we might never have players like Sniper. Like we had Licorice in the past. A lot of our best players have been Canadian, and it's a very worrying trend that all of a sudden we can't even bring our neighbors in. Like this is I don't know. It's frustrating.
It is, and like we're seeing this more and more, and like the past few years, like imports like taking a million years. Like, do you remember the Broxer incident? Like where he literally missed an entire split because like his visa just was not coming in, and like it's so like it's career destroying for Zamuda because he is one of like the highest touted players out of the academy system, and we just can't play the kid, like, and it's so heartbreaking, and like he's just gonna have to. He may have to just look elsewhere, which could be crushing for him. Like if his dream is to be in the LCS, and he's just straight up being told you're not gonna have a career here, and it's nothing to do with you as a player. It's just how the country works. It's very, very disappointing.
Are we gonna lose another one to Europe? Is he just gonna join like a
Probably.
Fnatic Academy or G2 or like? I mean, it's sad, but for
Likely.
him specifically, I feel like that's his best course of action, right? I mean, he could also play in the like CB LOL. He did play a little bit in Split 3, right, for the promotion relegation. He won that, so he did get some experience down south, but it is quite frustrating to be in his position.
Yeah.
Okay, now finally we can get into power rankings. Sorry, we keep remembering to talk about things. This is what we're all here for. Power rankings. Do we want to start from number 1 or number 8? Up to you.
We'll go 8. We'll go 8.
Okay, we'll go 8.
My 8. Oh, probably it's between DSG and Dig. For me,
Between DSG and Dig, same. All right, let's see what you got.
I just think I'm gonna go Dig. I just think.
Ooh, okay.
I just think with the unfortunately the players you have available are not the players you wanted in terms of who you're missing. You want Ignor and Photon. That's going to be like your focal points of this team. When you have Palafox, it's just it's a problem.
I think Photon is there. I think
If Photon's there, then fine. But Ignor is.
Oh, maybe I can't confirm it because they didn't say it, but I'm 99% sure he's there.
Okay. I'm still going Dig last.
Dude, you're putting FBI last? I can't. I put DSG last because I think that DSG need more time to reach their potential, whereas Dig, I think what we see from them is what we're going to see from them. Like they have a higher floor and a lower ceiling than Disguise, which is why I'm putting DSG as 8th.
You may have turned me like saying Photon is there is probably enough for me to swear, if I'm being completely honest. And like, I kind of agree that their level was going to be their level. They're not gonna reach any higher or lower, which is worrying considering we're putting them 7th or 8th. But Someone has to be.
Yeah, someone has to be.
We're gonna lock in DSG 8th.
Yeah, okay. DSG 8th, that means just Dig 7th, since that's the one we were kind of flip-flopping between.
Cool. Number 6.
Now, I
This is
guess
where
I'll
it gets
go for
spicy.
6 since I asked you first.
Yeah, but I'll
All
let you
right,
go.
I will tell you why, and I'll tell you who, and I'll give you my reasoning. I have Sentinel 6th because again, they have 2 Korean players that I don't think are there. They might be there, but I don't know, so I'm just gonna assume that just like everybody else, they're having visa issues. I don't know if he's gonna be there. If Hambak and Rahel are even gonna be there, so I'm gonna put them. Like it was for me, it was between FlyQuest and Sentinels. But FlyQuest, I know all their players are there. Sentinels, I don't think all their players are there. So for me, it was a very obvious.
Didn't you
Sentinel
say
6.
Sentinels did a thing with 4 of their players? Or was that
They did what thing?
like a media thing with 4 of their players on?
No. So, the media thing. So Sentinels did. I don't know. They did a podcast episode with their owner, Impact, who's there obviously because he's an American. What's it called? He has a green card. Huhi and Grayson, their coach. So it was 4 people, but it wasn't 4 players.
Okay, yeah.
The other, Rahel and Humbug, I don't know if they're. Darkwings obviously lives here, so he's probably here, but I don't know about the other 2. I haven't seen any interviews. I haven't heard. I didn't get approved for. I think I asked for Humbug. I didn't get approved for Humbug, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Richie. I don't know who's on which team exactly. Who's not even going to be there. That's why this power ranking is so difficult to do. I think maybe we can do like a for fun one at the end, where assuming everybody has their full roster. But for now, I think the assumption is a lot of players aren't going to be there.
I can just Control Z and then remove the board once we're
Okay, awesome. Yeah. What do you mean half the region is going to be there? Yeah, Richie.
I
this
actually have a. Let me think. So who's the available line players? Dokla, Inspired, Isles,
and Saint.
Okay. So how comes
I know Control Z. It hurt me too, Richie.
How comes Rahel wouldn't be here?
Because he's changing teams. So the new team would have to file for.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why, for example, we have B-Boy, but we don't have Zinni, even though they're both Korean. But B-Boy had a 2-year contract. It was able to bring him again. Yeah.
See. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go Sentinel 6th then, because I was actually down to put Lion 6th because
if Saint wasn't there, I would be down. Yeah.
Because of you specifically saying you do not trust them to bring in feasible substitutions, like considering how they did in the past with these. So I'm down to put.
That's why I have them 4th. But
I am down to put them. I can put Sent 6th. It's going to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, are you going to do Lion over FlyQuest or FlyQuest over Lion? I can see both, honestly. Like, I'm willing to be persuaded.
I think Lion over FlyQuest. It's just because I think Inspired and Saint are too good as just like individuals that they could bring them over the line. Unless Inspired is already come into the season tilted, then that would be a different thing. But I haven't heard that so far. I don't know about you.
I would be very surprised if he comes into the season tilted. I know people are like, "Oh my god, Inspired's probably so mad because his players aren't there." I'm like, dude, this guy's just gonna smurf. Like, this guy is a professional when he needs to be, and I think this is his time to shine.
Yeah, I think probably FlyQuest just 5th, to be honest with you.
FlyQuest 5th, Lion 4th, and then we can start fighting afterwards. Because I think we might have different teams here.
Shall we both say the order of our teams just straight off the bat? And not like
sure, I'll tell you
1, 2, 3.
My 1, 2, 3, you tell me. Okay.
Yeah.
You can go first because I went with the other one.
So I'm gonna go from 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
So it would be TL, Shopify, C9.
Honestly, a lot better than I expected. I have TL third as well. I don't know if they're going to have Morgan or not. That's kind of one of my worries. I don't know if they're going to have Quid or not. That's also one of my worries. So that's why I'm not willing to put them higher, even though apparently they're crushing in scrims. So maybe no, Quid is playing solo queue. So Quid is in the US. I just haven't seen Morgan play NA solo queue. So yeah, I'm with you putting TL third. Now
Yeah.
for second and first, like I have Shopify first, but I feel like I have to concede just because we don't have our mid laner and you guys do. So yeah, I'm down. I'm down to do C9 first, Shopify second.
Okay. That was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we didn't end up fighting. I ended up conceding. It's okay. We can fight when we have assuming all players are there. Then we can fight.
Yeah. The thing is, with these rosters, like if we had full rosters, I don't think there's an incredible amount of change either. To be honest with you,
Oh,
maybe
really?
okay. Look, like I want to mean like I don't think a team is jumping from like sixth to third. I think it's like Sen and Fly maybe swap, and Lion and TL, or TL and Shopify. Like one of these, or like C9 and whoever. Like maybe C9 goes down to third, or like I don't think there's anything like drastically changing. Like you're not going to see like they're seventh right now, but once they get their full roster, I'm going to put them first.
Well, here's how I see it. I actually think like Lion would be third if they have their full roster, and Team Liquid would be fourth. So I would switch Lion and Team Liquid. I would obviously switch Shopify and Cloud9, and then I would take FlyQuest. I would put them seventh. So I would move FlyQuest two down
Really?
because I think, yeah, I just think they're gonna take a while. They're my scaling team. I don't expect them to be great moving in just lock in. I expect them to scale. So if I'm expecting them to scale, I assume that they're not going to be great to begin with. So I put them seventh. I would put like Sentinels probably. I would honestly maybe even put Dig over. I would put Dig fifth, Sentinel sixth, FlyQuest seventh, and then DSG eighth. I don't know about actually. Never mind. Sentinels. It's tight between Dig and Sen, but I would definitely move FlyQuest down seventh. That's what I would do. I don't know how you feel about that.
I could just foresee Dig being absolutely useless. To be honest with you, this reminds me of some of the old CLG rosters of the past. So like, it looks on paper nice, but their performance is just lackluster. There's no fight, there's no spirit, and then by the end of it, they're just gonna make changes anyways.
I think that's going to happen. I just don't think it'll happen in the first few games. And remember, it's 3 games, right?
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about it. I think that I'm just confident we'll win lock in. I can't foresee the rest of the year because I don't like looking that far ahead. I can't be saying that, oh yeah, we're gonna go worlds. Like, take it split by split. And as I've learned, you can be good.
Yeah, the
You can
hard
be
way.
good. You can be good for 95% of the year and still miss worlds. Like, we were the second best team last year,
Yeah.
like the entire year, and then didn't make it. So I think
Just sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
we have everything in place. We have all the coaches in place. We have all the players there. They've been like I am disappointed that we're not maybe trying as hard in David's tag team event, because I'm not a believer that like these guys should be near the bottom. If I'm being honest with you, I think like maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure someone in the C9 call said like Zen said on stream he just didn't give a crap about this thing, which is disappointing because I want people to be making content. I just want this to be fun, but like yeah. So I guess it's an oopsie on my face when I put like them to be one of the top 3 in my prediction thing.
Same.
But I know now for next time. But then from what like things have been said that they've been absolutely crushing scrims as well. So like I'd rather them crush scrims than crush the tag team event, because I see some actually using this as like the measurement test for teams. I'm like, come on, man, we can't be going that low.
I actually agree with you. I think the expectation should be that you guys are going to win, especially since you guys don't have visa issues. The other thing is, this is like kind of what's happening in chat, but the reason I'm putting FlyQuest seventh is specifically because this is something that every FlyQuest player I've ever talked to or coaching staff always mentions to me. Even Empire, last time I talked to him about him, and even Boosty when I talked to him, support takes the longest to adapt to pro play. There's so much to learn that isn't mechanical. And he even said Cryogen's really good mechanically. But when it comes to like learning the game, it's gonna take him a while. So that's why I think FlyQuest at first is going to be out like gapped around the map because the other supports, excluding Lions, which is why I had DSG8, excluding Lions, is gonna struggle. So that's kind of why I have them last, and that's why I have Cloud9 first. I think if you think about Vulcan, Vulcan is very smart about that. I thought he played really well in 2025. I know he gets a lot of crap for his 2024
yeah.
and for 2023 even, but his 2025 was great. His Bard was incredible. Like, yes, Busio's Bard was even better, but this guy was really good.
He took the time to learn that champion, like, evidently, and I think, yeah, I think him and Blabber specifically get a lot of the flack for the moment, and the moment is you look like you choked at the last hurdle, so people like they are gonna get like understandably like flack. But I think Blabber's gonna have a glow up this year. I think him and APA are gonna work really really well together. I think it's going to be tough because like it was evident in like Casper Cup, like APA is limited in the champions he can play. Like it was so evident, but the champions he did play well. He was playing fucking great. Like that Talia he was amazing on that champion like throughout that entire tournament. So I just think him and Blabber are going to work really really well together. So yeah, I just think if we don't win, I'm going to be very disappointed. Then this is like you have the pieces and you have APA who's a veteran at this point, or like he's a player that knows how to win. So the expectation is like we're not going to ramp up. It's you're going to win now.
Yeah, you're doing your best to jinx C9. So good job on that. But I think you guys should be favored.
I had another fly point. The reason I'm not confident that they'll progress throughout the year is because you have a bunch of learned, like I call like one of the content creators I watch for football calls like the young players like learner drivers. But the problem is you have these learner drivers with players that aren't good and like not going to be able to like level up the young players because this is completely unknown territory for Quad and Masu who are still like relatively young themselves, like in their career wise. So they're still
not Quad. Quad's been playing for a while.
Sure, but like at the higher level, like Quad is now
LCK.
Okay, sure, but he is coming from like a championship program to now having to be the focal leader of a team, like who is now expected to be fine. But like when I saw the lineup, I was like, you had Shopify C9 TL. I was like, damn, you got the four of them standing in a row, and then I had to check myself and remember like, this FlyQuest roster is projected mid-table to if to completely bomb out like 7th or 8th.
I think that one thing that Empire told me, maybe a little bit biased because I talked to FlyQuest staff, but one thing that he mentioned is Griffin talks a lot, so he brings some direction in game. And Quad actually, toward the end of the year, had started taking on responsibilities of shot calling. So in terms of in-game, maybe they don't affect him that much. But I think, like what you were saying, in terms of personality, like who is there that's going to put his arm around Cryogen or Griffin or Gakos and get them to play better? I don't see it yet. They're trying to develop Griffin into that person. Because yeah, they're trying to make Griffin that person, but it's gonna take time.
And the thing is, I always have to check myself is no rookie is really going to come in and do what Blabber did. Because Blabber was the focal point at 17. Completely, on a team of veterans who had like been to world semi-finals, all of that shit, and like he took it as like, I'm controlling this team. I'm coming in to save you guys. Like you guys are in 10th, so like it'd be curious to see how like if Cryo takes this as like this is his team, or if Quad and Masu have to really step up. I'm just not.
Here's another point for you.
I was just, I'm not confident that they're gonna, when things get tough, build these players up.
Here's my other issue with FlyQuest, and I know this turned into a little bit of a FlyQuest segment. Geckos is coming from tier 3. He played what, 5 games in total in North America? 1, 2, 5. He played 5 in tier 1, and now he's starting in tier 1. So really, most of his experience is tier 3. Look at Griffin. He played tier 3 for a while, played for Loud for a few weeks. Was it like 4 weeks? Or maybe
I
5.
remember it wasn't
He played for
massive.
like 5 weeks. He's still very much fresh when it comes to going from tier 3 to tier 1. He hasn't had a full year in tier 1. You look at Cryogen. What team did he play on in NACL? He didn't. He's coming straight from tier 3. He didn't even play in tier 2. So the learning curve is really big, and it's going to take time for these players to adjust. And you don't have players, like you were saying, that can get them up to speed fast. Masu is not going to be that person. Quad isn't currently. Maybe he can be, but as of right now, they're just not. And to Sickmask's point of, hey, maybe the coaches can be those people. Yes, but look at how long just look at how long it took ThinkCar to do it in Brazil. It wasn't in first split. It took a while. Now, I think he had a very talented set of players there as well. So maybe he can do it. Maybe he can do it in a year, but I don't expect it. I don't expect him to strike gold twice. That's why I really don't have much. It's not that I don't have faith in FlyQuest. It's that I think this project doesn't need to peak this year. It's not built for that. And so expecting anything above, honestly, 6th place is them overperforming.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of FlyQuest fans. I'm glad that there are a lot more FlyQuest fans now than there was, back in 2023, 2022. But I think look at the project that they're building, right? We have to be realistic about their project. It's not just about can this player be good, it's about when he's going to be good. Can Cryogen be the next Busio? Sure. Is he going to be that year 1? Probably not. Give him a little bit,
Yeah. Should we go on to Q&A?
Yeah, we had a few questions in Q&A. Again, if you're not part of the Discord, I don't know why you're not part of the Discord. Join the Discord. We have discussions every single day. Morning tea is so much fun. We ask a bunch of fun questions every day, 5 days a week, and then you get to put in your questions in chat and make sure that we don't miss them, because sometimes when we have a lot of chat, we can't catch everything. Let me pull up questions for this week. All right, Radley B, who's already in chat, says, do you think Dokla or Surdy is a stronger Dokla or Surdy is a stronger player at this point? As they are the top 2 players touted to be some of the strongest top laners in the LCS who ended the offseason without teams. Well, Dokla, I mean, this is before we found out Dokla was starting. Which one would you choose and why? It depends on the project for me.
Yeah,
and then
I was
I'll
about
let you
to say.
go. Yeah.
I was about to say. Do you want me to go, or did you want to go?
No, I was just gonna say that part and then let you go.
I think in his career right now, Dokla is best served as, like I said, in Premier League football, there's a couple of managers who couldn't hold jobs, but they were always brought in to teams that were going to get relegated, and then they kept them up from being relegated. I think Dokla is the perfect player for that. Like, if you need a guy that's going to come in and help steady a ship, I think he's your guy. And I think if you're thinking long term, I think his stint on NRG kind of proved that, where really, really good for a short period, and then the next season when there's expectations that it kind of fell off. Maybe he can, if he has like another solid, like a full solid year, because it's unlikely that Samuda plays, right? So he is going to get the full year at it unless he comes in. And if he has like another strong performance, then maybe my opinion on that's going to change. But I think if you're looking for a glue player, then you're probably going Dokla. If you're looking for someone long term, I think he still hasn't. We haven't really seen what, like, everything that he's about yet.
I think there's not much I can add to that.
Yeah.
You want someone with a low floor and a high, like a high floor and a medium ceiling. I wouldn't say he has a high ceiling, but he doesn't have a low ceiling. Or do you want someone who has a very low floor? You need to invest in him. He's going to be cheaper than Dokla, and he's going to have a higher ceiling. That would be Surdy. I think mechanically he's better. Around the map, he was completely lost. He didn't know how to play the lane swaps. He doesn't know how to lead. He doesn't know all this stuff. He's never played Tier 1. Like, the guy needs this experience. Dokla has. He's been playing since 2019 in Tier 1. Went back down to T2, came back up. Like, this guy has way more experience. Been to way more international events, scrimmed against way more tougher opponents. The experience isn't fair. So it really is just depending on the context of your team. If you're a win now team, absolutely Dokla. You'd be crazy to bring in Surdy. Surdy is not a win now player, which is why I thought he was a great fit for that Dig team, because that Dig team was not a win now team.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we're not winning now. What's going on? But yeah, if you're trying to build, if you're a Flackless right now, would you take Dokla over Surdy? I'd be like, you'd be crazy to take Dokla. You definitely invest in Surdy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean one player's bad or the other one's bad. It just means they're different players and they fit different projects. Dar Sakaria says, in your opinion, who's the best player in each role going into the year? Ooh, I love this question. I'll start in top. I'll say Thanatos.
Yeah, I was going to say, shall we just interchange so we're not taking like entire thing?
As long as we agree, sure.
I think the first two are pretty obvious. Thanatos and Inspired.
Okay. Mid lane, I will go Quad. I think Quad's going to be the best.
Quad or Quid?
No, Quad. FlyQuest. TL give too much resources to Jan. I don't think Quid is going to be as focused as he was in Team Liquid.
If this is bold. Okay. If the machine is running very, very smoothly, I can honestly see a world where like APA is getting like first team all pro. If the machine is like functioning like well smoothly. But in terms of like outright who is the best mid laner, probably Quad or Quid. Like I'm gonna say Quid.
Okay. I'm glad you moved away from the APA.
No,
I agree. He could be the best mid laner for C9.
I'm saying like who I think could be getting like first team all pro and stuff. Even if I don't think mechanically, APA is not the best. Come on, but I think like Quid for me is still the best mid laner in the league by considerable margin.
I thought Quad was better than him, even though Quid was being more flashy. Quid had a lot more responsibilities on him, because it was him and River who really were carrying. And look at how much they invested into, what's his name? Into FBI. They didn't invest anything. They didn't invest anything into Dokla. That's not how you're going to play on Team Liquid. You don't get to say no to CoreJJ Yan. You don't get to say no to Morgan. Like, the resources are much more spread. And when you think of Quad, like, again, it's a team game.
Yeah.
Quad and Masu are going to be the ones that have all of the carry power. And Quad is a lot louder than Masu. I'll tell you that much. They're both quiet, but Quad is louder. So I think there's going to be a lot. I think Quad is going to show up in a way that we don't expect. So that's why I'm giving it to Quad, just based on team dynamic.
Fair enough.
All right, 80 carry. I think we both can agree to Jan, right?
Yeah. Even though I think individually, I think Berserker's the best AD carry, but I don't think he's going to reach the height.
He's not even here, so.
Yeah, Jan.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I forgot about Saint. Saint could become the best because he's playing with Inspired, but I still like my Quad pick.
Yeah.
But very smart. I completely forgot about him. Who was it? River? No, it was Radley. Yeah.
Support.
And then 80 carry, we said Dion.
Support and
said
Vulcan.
Berserker. Vulcan. I agree.
Like I know everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, Yon CoreJJ has not been that guy for a hot minute. Like
yeah.
Like he's
for
not
literally a year. It's been a year. Yeah.
He's slowly turning into what Karrigan is in CS, where like obviously like he just cannot compete up with the level, but he's like that insane leader, which I think every team still needs, to be fair.
He's still top 3. He's still good. I just don't think he's top 1.
Well, it kind of helps when the best support in the league leaves, so you can move up quite
And
quickly.
Ayla leaves. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
and like
know.
Ayla doesn't even get a freaking team. Well, partly his fault, partly not.
He might play on a team if we're having like support issues, right? We
That's
have
really
Ignar, we have Lions. Like
that's
he might
really
actually play. Who knows?
that's really funny that Ayla refused to play for Dig and then made sub for Dig.
No, he could sub for DSG. You never know.
Yeah,
No, he refused to play for. No, he refused to play for DSG. He might end up playing for Dig. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he should have done that in the first place, but hey ho.
Yeah, I think we're both agree. So we said what was it? Top lane Thanatos, jungle inspired. Mid lane, I think we both kind of agreed that it's like quid or quad. AD carry, we both said Yan, and then Vulcan. All right.
Yeah.
Will Sniper make it Raichi GR? I always read it as GR. GR Raichi says, will Sniper make it back to tier 1? Last I talked to him over the offseason, it seems like he's gonna stream. He just kind of wants to stream. He was in so if you don't know, him and Kryra and Griffin are like close friends, and he was in Kryra's DSG's new jungler. He was in his chat. We were all just kind of chatting, and it seemed like he was saying, "Yeah, I think I just might stream." So I don't think he's gonna make it back to tier 1. I think he's focused on streaming.
With 8 teams as well, I think it's unlikely, which is disappointing because
It is Gur. Okay. I'm not crazy then. All right. Every time I see it, I'm like, I don't want to be weird about it. Maybe it's like your initials or something. Maybe you're like Jenny, Rachel. I don't know. Okay. Sorry. You were saying something more?
no, I finished my point.
Okay. Last question here. Stowen says, less of a question and more of a late addition and probably already partially a topic, but LCS once again dropping the ball by releasing schedule so late because we had to have the drawn show. But then the drawn show wasn't even a live event. No reason tickets should have been on sale as long as they weren't without matchups if the show wasn't going to be live. We did talk a little bit about that, but we didn't actually talk about the ticket part, which is a really good part to bring up. I'm going to say what I said earlier. I think that if there were less chefs in the kitchen, they would have done a better job at it. But I think that logistically they had to wait because people wanted them to wait because there were things that they couldn't confirm. And so it had to be this way. It sucks. I really hope they figure out how to fix it. But I don't expect it to be fixed, unfortunately. What do you think, Warren?
I mean, there's not much to add from like the previous like part we talked about on this. I just think it's very, very frustrating if you're coming in from quite a distance to like you can't logistically plan for these things. Like, how are you struggling to like do an LCS game, but you can plan your world's finals trip immediately, and that's the biggest tournament of the year. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. Like, it should be the other way around. Like, it should be you're worrying, oh, like I can go to all these LCS games because they're cheap, they're accessible, like they're on time. You know exactly who's playing where. Like, it's just frustrating. Like, why they have to wait? Like, obviously there is more that probably can't be said, as you've alluded to. Like, it's just frustrating that it comes across as a lack of like foresight, lack of preparation, lack of competence, when maybe it's not, but the fans are always the ones left blind in this situation, and that's really, really frustrating.
Yeah, like if I wanted to watch the Shopify game, I couldn't because I didn't know if it was going to be Saturday or Sunday until today, which is a week before the games, right? Or like 11 days before the games. I can't buy tickets 11 days
Do you
in
know what
advance.
do you know what the problem with that as well is? That fans were already posting pictures like, oh, we just saw on the Riot mobile app that the games are up. It's like, well, some fans didn't know that this wasn't a live thing. They thought this was going on like live. So obviously, like yes, you have to prepare the content and stuff for it, but and like that got like released immediately when fans started going on about it. Like, so they had this already from when they recorded it, right? So
yeah.
So like, it's really annoying that fine, prepare the content for it, but then why is it coming out on the apps? And that maybe like that's just something that goes into their backend that's then immediately released onto the app. who knows? But I'm sure that's easily fixable. It's just frustrating that this happened last year because I remember posting about it because I was just randomly searching there one day and the entire schedule was up like a couple of days before, and I'm like, why is this happening?
Yeah, I even remember we talked about the matchups before they were even released, didn't we?
Yeah, that was one of like
Yeah,
a first
it is
videos.
frustrating. I think, yeah, Carolyn, you did mention how APA's mom's been vocal about this. Even last year, she was very frustrated. She made a very good point this year. She's like, "Is this little leagues? Are we not a tier one region? What's going on, guys? Like, this isn't some small like indie company doing something. I shouldn't have to wait a week beforehand to figure out what day my son's gonna play because I'm not gonna come and watch a different game. She's there specifically to watch her son play, and she has to fly out. And the other thing is, if you don't know how like it works in the United States of America, LA, like if think of it as like a square, right? It's not really, but just think of it like a square, oval shape, or whatever. LA is like on the bottom left corner. Most of the country lives over here. So you gotta fly like thousands of miles. Like it is very far. It's you're crossing an entire continent. It's like a 6-7 hour flight from where I am, I'm pretty sure, to get to LA. Those flights are expensive.
That's
And
the
for you to
exact
get
same
them,
for me to come to America, by the way. Like it takes
yeah,
7 to 8
and
hours to come to America.
to get to New York, yeah, yeah. It would take you double that to get to California, to get to LA. And then you add on to that. So APA's mom, Stacy, she specifically like has different credit cards in order to make it more affordable to buy tickets. And one of the big things when you're using points and bonuses and things like that, because I do it too, because I travel a lot, so I do it too, and I actually follow her, and I've gotten some tips from her as well. Is you got to book these things early. You got to book these things early. You can't wait till last minute. You're not going to get the best bang for your buck. You're going to be throwing away money. Like literally, that's what's going to happen. And this stuff is expensive, man. Like it's not cheap. So a hotel in LA, just tickets to LA. If I could get this a month in advance, I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating. I could cut my price in half.
Yeah.
I was looking at a trip with my brother to go to New York, and literally we looked at it one night, and we're like, all right, this is the date we're gonna go. And then we looked the next day, and the prices tripled because we didn't book immediately. It was a
Ridiculous,
very
man.
like short notice. It was a
Yeah.
short notice trip, so I understand why the prices went up. But it's like it actually makes a very big difference
Yeah.
when you book your tickets. So it is frustrating as a fan. I was considering going to LA because I had someone who was like, "Yo, if you want to crash at my place," but then I didn't know what day I want to go. I didn't want to go for the whole weekend, and if I did, I wouldn't be. It was just logistically, I just said no. I don't even know when they're gonna announce. So
Yeah.
it's a 14-hour car ride for Radley or a 3-hour plane ride. Yeah, for me, no, it's way more than a 14. Like if I look, I mean, I'll just look at flights right now, just very quickly to see how long of a flight. Direct, obviously, LAX. Uh, I'm just gonna put random date. Who cares? February 3rd to the 4th, whatever. It is from Washington D.C. It is a 8-hour. Oh, that's with a stop. It's a 6-hour flight. 6 hour 10 minutes. Like that's. I can make it to other. I can make it to Colombia, the country, faster, quicker than I can to what's it called?
Los Angeles.
To LA. So yeah,
Yeah.
North America is a really big continent. So
Yeah.
anyways, those are it for our questions. Again, I don't want the frustrations to overshadow everything else that Riot has done. They're trying, from my understanding, Mark Z and his team have done a great job
Yeah.
overall. There is always going to be some frustrations, especially from where we used to be 6 years ago, 7 years ago. But overall, I'm very happy with the direction that the LCS is going. You will see us putting as much effort as humanly possible, whether it's on my channel, whether it's the new show that just got announced. If you haven't seen our Twitters, go check them out. There's like a show that we're all part of. Whether it's David, like everyone is putting everything that they can to make the LCS great this year in 2026. So yeah, you'll see a lot of us.
Yeah.
You got any shout outs, Martin?
Uh, honestly, shout out LCS because I like you don't. I didn't think many of these things would logistically happen, like the America's Cup was the biggest surprise honestly out of the two out of the road shows and out like in this America's Cup. The America's Cup's the one that like is the biggest surprise to me. Like
Mhm.
because it's more games we're adding more. Like you don't want to oversaturate it, but you're giving us more games. Like at least I know, okay, let's say hypothetically C9 lose to Shopify, lock in finals, they're still gonna go and play in this little mini tournament and get something out of that before like 'cause they're gonna go over there anyways. Potentially.
Yeah. I did forget. Sorry, I completely forgot. LCSofficial.gg is officially live. Like when we started our podcast. So now there's a new LCS website that's supposed to be a hub for everything. I can't say it's gonna be great. I can't say this is gonna be incredible. But from what I have seen, it looks really cool. And you'll be able to play fantasy. You'll be able to keep up with news. You'll be able to keep up with the teams, the games, everything. So I don't know if we're going to do anything like fantasy or anything like that, but just in terms of having a central hub, it is quite nice that the website is live. I think they're taking every step that they can. Like you said,
Yeah.
shout out LCS. They're really trying to find every angle that they can take it that isn't, can we get 10 teams or something like that? Like Riot's just gonna say no. This is the link to the LCS official. For myself, I have an Azale interview. I have a Jet interview. Those are going to be coming out. Be on the lookout for that. Obviously, the TMP show, myself and Martin and like David and a bunch of other people are all working on it. That should be fun. Honestly, shout out to the LCS and to the Discord. The Discord's been a lot of fun. Morning T coming up with questions and stuff. If you have Morning T questions, like kind of put them, and maybe we can pick them and use them as well if that's something you're interested in. Because those have been a lot of fun. I think that's everything on my end.
Yeah. I think so too.
All right, we'll see you guys next week, or maybe earlier. We'll see.